Okay, let's dive right in. Welcome to another explainer where we unpack beautifully profound stories to see what makes them tick. Today, we're tearing into the novel Every Dream Leaves a Tide Mark. We're going to look at how a simple story about a Midwest pastor's wife actually reveals some incredibly deep, universally resonant psychological truths. We're talking about aging, identity, and those hidden parts of ourselves that we just kind of quietly leave behind as we build our adult lives. So look at this question. Have you ever hidden a dream on a shelf? As we walk through this explainer together, I want you to mentally scan the hidden rooms of your own life. Are there places where you maybe packed away an old passion, a really fierce curiosity, or some grand ambition, entirely for the sake of being responsible or useful to the people around you? Just keep that thought right in your back pocket for a minute. Section 1. The Woman Everyone Knew. Our explainer centers on Ellen. She's a 50-year-old woman living in the tight-knit town of Millhaven. Now, for decades, Ellen has absolutely perfected her outward identity. She is the reliable pastor's wife, the go-to community organizer, the dependable helper. And let's be clear, it's a genuinely beautiful life filled with a lot of love. But hidden just beneath the surface of all that competence is a completely different identity. She's a closet marine biology enthusiast. She's a curious dreamer who fell completely head over heels for the Pacific Ocean when she was 9 years old. And honestly, she never quite got over it. Section 2. The Shelf of Deferred Dreams. You see, Ellen's hidden dream didn't just vanish into thin air. At 9, she discovered a tide pool and was hooked. Fast forward to age 22, she literally gets accepted with a full-ride scholarship to a California marine biology graduate program. But she declines it. She stays in Kansas to marry her husband, James. That dream didn't die, though. It actually took physical form in her house. For 27 years, a jar of California sand and a super worn-out field guide to Pacific tide pools sat on the very highest shelf of her home office. She was secretly reading it in the early mornings. But everything starts to shift for Ellen after a conversation with an older widow in her church named Vera. During a fellowship meeting, Vera confesses that she packed away all her painting supplies to care for her family back in the day, always telling herself she'd get back to it next year. Then Vera drops this absolute gut punch of a realization. She says, "One day you realize next year has become 40 years. Wow. I mean, that is a stark reminder of how fast someday turns into an entire lifetime, isn't it? And this brings us to a really crucial point. We usually don't pack our dreams away out of anger or resentment. We do it because we want to be good. We want to be responsible and selfless. Ellen wasn't miserable or trapped in her marriage. She fiercely loved her family. She simply and falsely believed that choosing her husband and her community meant she had to totally erase her own hunger to learn. Basically, she traded her curiosity for usefulness. Section 3. The Courage to Want Again. This leads us right to the pivotal turning point, which actually happens completely by chance. Ellen is sitting on a park bench on an autumn afternoon and strikes up a chat with a retired professor named Daniel Holt. Daniel listens to her polite, practiced summary of her life and then pierces right through it with one direct question. What would it mean to be hungry again? Boom. That question forces her to realize that while she was so busy feeding everyone else in her community, she was literally starving her own intellectual curiosity. Reclaiming a deferred dream doesn't mean you have to blow up your whole life. For Ellen, it took 3 very specific steps. Step 1, telling the truth to James. They sit on the couch and have this deeply vulnerable, tearful conversation where they finally stop protecting each other and she admits what she gave up. Step 2 is terrifying. At age 49, she enrolls in a community college ecology class. And step 3, she has to completely let go of her need to be the hyper-competent woman who always has everything figured out. Section 4. Becoming a beginner. Walking into that college classroom at 49 was absolutely petrifying for her. As adults, we naturally tie so much of our self-worth to our competence, right? We want to be the experts. We definitely don't want to be the students. But Ellen strikes up this beautiful intergenerational friendship with a brilliant 20-year-old student named Keisha. And through Keisha and the coursework, Ellen fundamentally redefines the concept of beginnerhood. It's not a sign of failure or inadequacy. It is actual evidence of an active life, of curiosity, and a real willingness to grow. This creates a massive shift in her mindset. She realizes, I stopped seeing beginnerhood as evidence of inadequacy. I began seeing it as evidence of life. Think about that for a second. She realizes that only the people who are still growing and still changing are brave enough to put themselves back at square one. And here is the truly incredible ripple effect of that bravery. By letting herself be seen as a messy, unsure beginner, she unintentionally gives her adult children, Claire and Peter, the greatest gift ever. She shows them that it's okay to change, that dreams can evolve, that growth doesn't just hit a brick wall at middle age. Her kids actually admitted they always knew she loved the ocean. By acting on it, she gave him permission to remain unfinished and curious in their own journeys. Section 5. The intertidal zone. All of this builds to a magnificent ecological metaphor that just ties Ellen's whole psychological journey together perfectly. Think about the intertidal zone. It's an ecosystem defined by constant transition between ocean and solid land, where survival literally depends on adapting to change, not fighting it. Through a class project, Ellen realizes her obsession with tide pools was never just scientific. It was intensely personal. She was living in the intertidal zone. She was caught right there between the solid land of the life she built and the vast ocean of the life she had imagined. Society loves to hand us a false choice. It tells us you must be either the responsible caretaker or the curious dreamer. Pick one, and the other has to lose. But the intertidal reality proves that maturity isn't about choosing one single identity and freezing it forever. It's about learning to hold both truths at the same time. You can live honestly right there in the middle, feeling profound gratitude for the life you have, while also having a deep, active longing for the things you still want to learn. Now, the very real danger of refusing to step into that intertidal zone hits home late in the story. Up in her attic, Ellen finds a small wooden box. Inside are 6 blue cloth notebooks packed with stunning fashion sketches from 1958, along with an acceptance letter to a Chicago Design Institute. They belong to her late mother. It's this heartbreaking realization of her mother's totally abandoned, unspoken dream, a dream that was boxed up, shoved in an attic, and literally never spoken of again. So the absolutely crucial takeaway from Ellen's story is this. Identity is not a finished portrait. It is a shifting coastline. You never, ever have to stop becoming yourself. Taking a class, being a beginner, expanding who you are, sure, it costs a little pride, but that cost is 1,000,000 times smaller than the heavy, silent cost of keeping yourself hidden forever. If Ellen's journey struck a chord with you today, or if it sparked the memory of a dream you maybe packed away and left to gather dust, I have a quick favor to ask. Please take just a second to click the link below and leave a review on Amazon for this book. Asking for a review on Amazon with the link below is the absolute best way to help other people discover this story. Your reviews really are what help these hidden gems find the light of day. I want to leave you with one final, provocative question to chew on for the rest of your day. What is waiting quietly within you, ready to be rediscovered? Ask yourself right now, what tide pool is still out there, patiently calling your name? Thanks for walking through this explainer with me, and hey, never stop learning.